Welcome back to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the electrifying drama unfolding on Tuesday, November 11, 2025. As Port Charles teeters on the edge of explosive revelations, loyal viewers are in for a roller coaster of family tensions, hidden secrets, and unexpected twists that could shatter alliances forever. This episode promises to peel back layers of deception, starting with a desperate father-son confrontation that might finally crack the walls of silence surrounding a shocking crime. Sonny Corinthos, the ever-vigilant kingpin of Port Charles, finds himself pushed to the brink of frustration as he confronts his estranged son, Michael Quartermaine. For weeks, Michael has been a fortress of secrecy, guarding every intricate detail of his involvement or lack thereof in the harrowing incident where Drew Cain was gunned down in a hail of betrayal and mystery. Sonny, with his vast network of street smarts and unyielding loyalty to family, has been burning the midnight oil, dodging questions from the relentless Port Charles Police Department and weaving a web of alibis to shield Michael from the mounting scrutiny. But patience, even for a man like Sonny who's weathered countless storms, has its limits. In a raw, heart-pounding moment, he corners Michael in a dimly lit corner of the Corinthos compound, his voice laced with urgency and paternal plea. "Son, no more games," Sonny might growl, his eyes searching Michael's face for any flicker of vulnerability. He begs Michael to lay it all bare, the raw, unfiltered truth about that fateful night when bullets flew and loyalties were tested to their core. Is it a confession of guilt, a map of revenge plots against those who crossed the Quartermaine Empire, or a blueprint for how Michael intends to navigate the treacherous waters of legal evasion without dragging the family down? Viewers can almost feel the tension crackle as Sonny presses for specifics, step-by-step schemes to outmaneuver the law, perhaps involving shadowy figures from Michael's corporate battles or unexpected ties to old enemies like Valentine Casadini. Yet, in true Quartermaine fashion, Michael stonewalls, his jaw set in defiance, leading Sonny to stew in a potent mix of anger and fear. This standoff not only highlights the fractured bond between father and son, but also teases a larger unraveling, where one slip could expose a conspiracy that reaches into the heart of Port Charles elite circles, potentially implicating business tycoons and political insiders who've long profited from the chaos. Shifting gears to the medical front lines at General Hospital, Dr. Portia Robinson, the poised co-chief of staff, steps into the spotlight with a confession that could redefine her entire world and ripple through the corridors of power. Portia has been carrying burdens heavier than any surgical tray rumors swirl about her unexpected pregnancy, a bombshell that leaves her grappling with uncertainty over the father's identity amid a whirlwind of romantic entanglements. Was it Curtis, her ex-husband whose charm still lingers like a half-forgotten melody, or someone far more dangerous from her past? The plot thickens as whispers emerge about how Drew Cain once held her in a vice of manipulation, using classified intel from her professional missteps to bend her will during critical hospital decisions. Perhaps it was a hushed deal over falsified patient records or a cover-up involving experimental treatments gone awry details that Portia buried deep to protect her career and family. Now, as the walls close in, she seeks out a confidant, maybe her closest ally at the hospital, or even a surprising figure like Elizabeth Weber, in a tearful admission that spills forth like a dam breaking. "I can't keep pretending," Portia might whisper, her hands trembling as she reveals the full extent of Drew's coercion. From late-night threats in empty exam rooms to planted evidence that could ruin her license overnight. This vulnerability exposes not just her personal turmoil, but the systemic cracks in General Hospital's leadership, where ambition clashes with ethics in ways that endanger patients and staff alike. Adding fuel to the fire, Nina Reeves played a pivotal role in escalating Portia's predicament by diverting suspicion from Michael in the Drew shooting probe, pinning it on the doctor as a convenient scapegoat to buy time for her own agendas tied to Crimson Magazine's survival. Did Nina's calculated betrayal backfire in an unforeseen way, leading Portia to retaliate with her own arsenal of secrets? The episode hints at Portia's confession, sparking a chain reaction, perhaps prompting an internal investigation that unearths decades-old hospital scandals, including botched surgeries linked to corporate greed and personal vendettas that have simmered since the days of Alan Quartermain's reign. Amid the shadows of deceit, Nina Reeves experiences a sudden stroke of pleasant surprise that cuts through the gloom like a ray of sunlight piercing storm clouds. Nina, ever the resilient media maven, has been navigating her own labyrinth of regrets, from her fallout with Sonny to the ethical tightrope of her journalistic pursuits. This twist of good fortune could stem directly from Portia's unraveling. Maybe the doctor's admission clears Nina's name in some ancillary investigation, or it uncovers evidence that bolsters Nina's position against rivals like Carly Spencer. Imagine Nina in her sleek office at the Invader, phone in hand, as a tip from an anonymous source reveals a windfall, perhaps a lucrative merger opportunity or vindication in a libel suit that's haunted her career. Her face lights up with that signature blend of cunning and delight, a moment that humanizes the often misunderstood vixen. But is this surprise purely serendipitous, or does it tie into deeper machinations? Speculation runs wild that it involves reconciliation with a long-lost relative or a breakthrough in her quest to expose corruption in Port Charles' elite, adding layers of intrigue that could pivot her from antagonist to unlikely hero. Whatever the catalyst, this upbeat turn injects hope into Nina's arc, reminding fans why her unpredictable journey keeps them hooked episode after episode. As the drama intensifies, Brooke Lynn Quartermain and Harrison Chase encounter personal hurdles that test their resolve and hint at brewing tempests within the Quartermain dynasty. With Ronnie's shadow finally lifted and Tracy's rare apology smoothing some ruffled feathers, life at the sprawling Quartermain mansion seems poised for calm until jarring news shatters the facade for Brooke Lynn. What bombshell awaits her? It could be a cryptic message from her music industry past, revealing sabotage by a jealous former collaborator, like a scheming producer who's resurfaced with damaging audio tapes of her LQ dealings. Or perhaps it's health-related, echoing the family's history of hidden ailments, where a routine checkup uncovers a genetic marker tied to the very cancers that claimed loved ones before. Brooke Lynn, with her fiery spirit and unyielding determination, absorbs the shock in a private moment amid the mansion's echoing halls, her mind racing to strategize a counterattack that blends her tech-savvy instincts with Quartermain cunning. This revelation not only challenges her budding romance with Chase, but also forces a reevaluation of her role in the family business, potentially allying her with unexpected kin like Sasha Gilmore in a bid to safeguard their shared future. For Chase, the dedicated detective, the day brings a pivotal detailing of his meticulously crafted plans, a disclosure that hangs in the balance of loyalty and ambition. Fans speculate this revolves around his marriage to Brooke Lynn, where he outlines a romantic gesture or legal maneuver to solidify their union against external threats, maybe drafting protective clauses in the LQ contracts or planning a surprise elopement to escape the town's prying eyes. Chase, ever the principled cop, might confide in Dante Falconeri over coffee at Kelly's, mapping out steps to balance his badge with his heart, including surveillance on potential dangers lurking from Michael's orbit. But could it veer toward Willow Tate's predicament, where Chase grapples with ethical dilemmas in freeing her from whatever invisible chains bind her, be it cult remnants or psychological scars from her deception days? His plans unfold with precision, detailing timelines, contingencies, and moral quandaries that underscore his growth from lone wolf to devoted partner. This segment teases high-stakes decisions that could either mend fractured relationships or ignite new conflicts, pulling Chase deeper into the Quartermain vortex where justice and love collide in unpredictable ways. In wrapping up this teaser, Tuesday's episode of General Hospital delivers a tapestry of emotional depths and narrative surprises that solidify its status as daytime TV's crown jewel. From Sonny's raw pleas to Portia's soul-bearing secrets, Nina's joyful pivot, and the duo's mounting challenges, Port Charles pulses with life, urging fans to tune in for every gasp-worthy beat. Next, we will uncover the electrifying highlights from this year's Graceland extravaganza that had fans buzzing with anticipation for the Nurses' Ball. The annual Graceland gathering, held at the iconic Elvis Presley Estate in Memphis, Tennessee, served as a dazzling prelude to the highly awaited Nurses' Ball on General Hospital, drawing in a constellation of soap opera luminaries under the warm southern sun. This sixth-year milestone event transformed the sprawling grounds into a vibrant hub of music, camaraderie, and star power, where cast members not only mingled, but also delivered performances that echoed the high-stakes drama of Port Charles itself. Attendees were treated to an evening of nostalgia and innovation, with the air filled with the scent of magnolias and the distant hum of live guitars, creating an atmosphere that blended Elvis-era charm with contemporary soap glamour. For those glued to their screens back home, the event's magic was captured in heart-pounding clips that circulated rapidly online, offering a tantalizing taste of what's to come in the show's legendary musical spectacle. At the heart of the night's revelations was a breathtaking duet that sent ripples through the crowd and beyond, featuring rising stars Giovanni Mazza and Bredon Bruner in a rendition that captured the soul of vulnerability and resilience, core themes that resonate deeply within General Hospital's intricate narratives. Mazza, known for his portrayal of a character navigating turbulent emotions, strummed an acoustic guitar with precision and passion, his fingers dancing across the strings to accompany Bruner's ethereal vocals on Fleetwood Mac's timeless 1975 anthem Landslide. Bruner, embodying a role that often explores shifting relationships and personal growth, poured her heart into the lyrics, her voice rising and falling like the emotional tides of the show, while subtle lighting from the Graceland stage highlighted the raw connection between the performers. This collaboration wasn't just a cover, it felt like a preview of potential on-screen chemistry, hinting at storylines where music could bridge divides in the fictional town of Port Charles, much like how songs have historically amplified dramatic turns in past episodes. The applause that followed was thunderous, a standing ovation that seemed to affirm the duo's potential to steal the spotlight at the upcoming Nurses' Ball, where such intimate performances often foreshadow pivotal plot twists. What made this moment even more unforgettable was the wave of reactions from fellow castmates, whose comments flooded social media, turning a single video into a viral sensation that amplified the event's reach far beyond Memphis. Kelly Thibault, whose character has mastered the art of poised intensity, simply posted "so beautiful," a succinct praise that spoke volumes about the performance's emotional depth and its alignment with the show's emphasis on heartfelt connections. Finola Hughes, the veteran actress behind one of GH's most iconic figures, chimed in with "gorgeous," evoking images of elegant ballroom scenes yet to unfold, and her words carried the weight of someone who's witnessed countless on-set musical moments. Adding to the chorus of acclaim, Kathleen Gotti hailed it as absolutely fantastic, drawing parallels to the elaborate productions that have defined her character's dramatic arcs. While Kristen Vaganos confessed, "Okay, I cried, and I have chills," a raw admission that mirrored the tear-jerking confessions scripted into many episodes. Even Rory Gibson, fresh from his own dynamic scenes, joined the fray by sharing his awe, underscoring how these off-screen bonds fuel the on-screen fire. The admiration didn't stop with the GH family. Cross-soap influences added an extra layer of excitement, as Crew Morrow from The Bold and The Beautiful dropped in with "You Guys Are Awesome," bridging rival networks in a nod to the shared spirit of daytime drama that unites fans across shows. This inter-soap shout-out sparked discussions among viewers about potential crossover fantasies, where characters from different worlds might collide in a Nurses' Ball extravaganza, blending B&B's bold intrigue with GH's medical mysteries. Inventing such scenarios isn't far-fetched. Past events have teased alliances that echo real-life friendships among actors, and Morrow's comment fueled speculation that future collaborations could introduce fresh energy to the annual ball. The video, shared initially by Mazza on his Instagram, racked up thousands of views within hours, with fans dissecting every note and gesture, predicting it as a blueprint for Bruner and Maz's characters to share a duet that advances a romance subplot or resolves a long-simmering feud. Shifting the spotlight to visual storytelling, Rory Gibson elevated the event's documentation by posting a comprehensive gallery on his official Instagram, captioned Graceland GH 2025 on film, which served as a digital scrapbook capturing the essence of the evening in vivid detail. Among the standout shots was a candid close-up of Maza and Bruner mid-performance, their expressions a mix of concentration and joy, frozen in a moment that highlighted the chemistry building between them, perhaps foreshadowing scripted synergies in upcoming arcs. Other images showcased the venue's grandeur, sweeping exteriors of Graceland's manicured lawns bathed in golden light, where cast members posed in casual elegance, laughing amid decorations that paid homage to Elvis's rock and roll legacy. Inside shots revealed intimate gatherings, like groups huddled around buffet tables laden with southern delicacies such as fried green tomatoes and pecan pie, evoking the communal feasts that often punctuate GH's holiday specials. Gibson's lens also caught behind-the-scenes glimpses, including sound checks and quick wardrobe tweaks, offering fans an insider's view that deepened their investment in the performers' real personalities. This collection of photos not only immortalized the joy, but also underscore Graceland's role as a pilgrimage site for soap enthusiasts, a place where history and fiction intertwine in ways that enrich the viewing experience. For avid followers yet to visit, Gibson's post painted a compelling picture of why the event deserves a spot on any travel itinerary. Imagine strolling the same paths where Elvis once walked, now alive with the voices of your favorite stars harmonizing under the stars. The gallery's diversity, from solo portraits of actors reflecting on the night to wide-angle views of the crowd's energy, mirrored the multifaceted nature of General Hospital itself, where individual stories weave into a larger tapestry. Fans in the comments section echoed this sentiment, sharing their own dreams of attending, which only heightened the buzz around next year's iteration. Beyond the acoustic elegance of Maza and Bruner, the stage ignited with high-energy displays that promised to influence the Nurses' Ball's setlist. Starting with Chris McKenna's explosive take on La Bamba, a Ritchie Valens classic that transformed the historic estate into a fiesta of rhythm and flair. McKenna, channeling his character's adventurous spirit, bounded across the platform with infectious vigor, his vocals sharp and spirited. Backed by an impromptu band that included percussion echoing the song's Latin roots, picture congas thumping in sync with the Memphis night, drawing cheers that rivaled any Port Charles party scene. This rendition wasn't mere entertainment. It evoked themes of cultural fusion and unexpected joy, elements that could inspire a storyline where McKenna's role leads a multicultural event in the show, bridging diverse community ties amid ongoing dramas. The performance's vitality had the audience clapping along, feet tapping uncontrollably, and it stood as a testament to how Graceland's legacy of bold music continues to inspire actors to push boundaries. Envisioning Finola Hughes joining McKenna for a sizzling salsa duet added a layer of fan-fueled fantasy to the evening, as her graceful poise paired with his dynamic moves could create a dance sequence worthy of the Nurses' Ball's most memorable spots. Imagine the pair twirling under colorful lights, their steps symbolizing reconciliation in a plotline fraught with tension. One viewer on X captured the imagination perfectly by proposing McKenna tackle Secret Agent Man at the ball, a suggestion that ties into espionage-tinged arcs from GH's history, blending spy intrigue with musical flair for a performance that keeps secrets unraveling on stage and screen. McKenna didn't stop there. His follow-up of Bobby Darin's Mac the Knife delivered smooth jazz undertones with a razor-sharp edge, his baritone slicing through the air like a plot twist, complete with theatrical gestures that mimicked a heist's cunning. Fans immediately linked it to villainous schemes in the series, speculating on revivals of classic antagonists. Looking back, the Graceland event's track record of mirroring Nurses' Ball highlights is impeccable, with past years featuring standouts like James Patrick Stewart's charismatic portrayal in musical numbers that doubled as character deep dives. revealing hidden layers beneath Valentin Casadin's enigmatic facade. These precedents suggest the 2025 preview was loaded with clues for the ball's direction, perhaps more duets exploring redemption, or ensemble pieces tackling family legacies, all infused with the emotional authenticity seen in Mazza and Bruner's set. As the night wound down, whispers among attendees hinted at surprise guests and theme teases, building hype for how these real talents will translate to scripted magic. For General Hospital devotees, this Graceland chapter reaffirms the show's enduring appeal, where off-screen sparks often ignite on-air fireworks, promising a nurse's ball that's as unpredictable as Port Charles twists. Next, we will learn about the shocking developments in the mystery boss storyline that's gripping Port Charles. In the latest twists, shaking up General Hospital, the enigmatic figure pulling strings from the shadows could be on the verge of a massive reveal, especially with Anna Devane's sudden disappearance throwing everything into chaos. Fans have been buzzing about this intricate web of espionage and betrayal, where loyalties shift like sand and no one is quite who they seem. As Anna, the seasoned WSB operative, finds herself in peril, the spotlight turns to a long-buried family secret that might explain it all. This isn't just another subplot. It's a high-stakes game where past vendettas resurface, threatening to upend the lives of key players in Port Charles. Imagine the tension building as clues drop one by one, hinting at a resurrection that could redefine alliances and rivalries alike. Let's dive into the pivotal moment that has everyone talking. Jack Brennan's tense exchange with Jocelyn Jacks. In a dimly lit room filled with the weight of unspoken dangers, Jack hands Jocelyn a covert mission to infiltrate the life of Lucas Jones, extracting every scrap of intel on the elusive Marco Rios. Jocelyn, ever the determined young woman navigating her own turbulent path, nods with a mix of resolve and apprehension before slipping out into the night. But the drama escalates when Vaughn, Jack's right-hand man with a conscience that won't quit, explodes in frustration, warning that this assignment is a suicide run for Jocelyn. Jack, stone-faced and unyielding, brushes it off, his eyes betraying a flicker of doubt beneath his tough exterior. Their argument cuts short as Jack's phone buzzes insistently, slicing through the charged air. He answers, and a voice claims to be Anna, delivering urgent words about an unfolding crisis. Yet, something feels profoundly off, almost too perfectly timed to be coincidence. This interruption doesn't just pause their debate. It propels the narrative into darker territory, where trust is the first casualty. The real bombshell, however, lies in the impossibility of that call. Just days earlier, viewers watched in horror as Anna was ambushed and snatched right from her own vehicle. A scene so raw it left audiences questioning her elite spy instincts. Picture this: Anna sliding into the driver's seat after a long day of unraveling leads, the streetlights casting eerie shadows outside. Suddenly, the interior light flares on, revealing an unseen intruder lurking in the back. How does a woman of Anna's caliber, trained to detect the slightest anomaly, miss such a glaring red flag? Social media erupted with theories. Some fans pointed to the pitch-black night masking the dome light's glow, while others speculated on a sophisticated gadget jamming her senses, perhaps a Pikeman-issued device from their shadowy arsenal. But in true General Hospital fashion, the suspension of disbelief serves the story's pulse-pounding pace. As Anna struggles, a gravelly Danish accent echoes through the chaos, mocking her with phrases like "Anna is en route to a transformed existence," accompanied by her desperate cries of denial. The voice, dripping with menace, evokes ghosts from the show's storied past, but crucially, we never glimpse the speaker's face. This ambiguity isn't accidental. It's a deliberate hook, teasing layers of deception that could involve impersonation or worse. Enter the prime suspect in this escalating nightmare: Alex Merrick, Anna's cunning and ruthless twin sister, who has lurked in the periphery of Port Charles lore like a storm waiting to break. Alex, with her mirrored features but polar opposite soul, embodies the dark side of the Devane legacy: manipulative, vengeful, and always one step ahead. If she's the puppet master behind the mystery boss, It would explain the eerie phone call, as Alex could be stepping into her sister's shoes with chilling precision. Recall the early whispers of this arc, where the boss was coyly gendered as she, a feminine force orchestrating the operation from afar. Then, the narrative pivoted, with references shifting to he, as in Britt Westburn's frantic conversation with Pascal in a foggy Croatian hideout, where she pleaded that he wouldn't tolerate any harm coming her way. This flip-flop fuels speculation. Is there a duo at the helm, a power couple of crime-blending genders? Or perhaps the writers toyed with ideas before settling, leaving breadcrumbs for eagle-eyed fans? In my view, that initial she screams Alex, her influence seeping through the cracks of the plot like venom. Delving deeper into Alex's potential role uncovers a timeline riddled with soap opera resurrections that scream unfinished business. Flashback to 2020 aboard the infamous Haunted Star, where Anna and Alex clashed in a brutal showdown amid crashing waves and flickering lights. In the heat of battle, Anna fired a shot that sent Alex tumbling over the railing into the icy depths below. No body recovered, just ripples fading into the abyss. On soaps like General Hospital, such deaths are mere plot devices, a temporary exit for characters too juicy to discard. Port Charles waters have swallowed and spat back countless souls, from presumed drownings to miraculous returns, turning the harbor into a revolving door for the undead. Track the pattern. Caesar Faison and his son Nathan West met their ends in rapid succession on January 31, 2018, their fates intertwined in a blaze of betrayal. Alex followed in November 2020, her plunge echoing those losses. Then came Peter August, her and Faison's offspring, who flatlined in February 2022 after a poison-laced confrontation. Britt Westburn joined the list in January 2023, her Huntington's fueled demise heartbreaking yet suspicious. Now, with Nathan and Britt defying graves, the cycle renews who's next on the revival roster. Alex's watery escape always felt too neat. Hypothermia might have slowed her, but her survival instincts, honed by years of double crosses, could have carried her to safety on a drifting debris or a waiting boat. What truly cements Alex as the mystery boss are the tantalizing connections weaving through the current chaos. Her kidnapping of Anna isn't random, it's a strategic swap, allowing Alex to infiltrate WSB circles undetected, perhaps to sabotage ongoing probes into Pikeman's arms dealings. Imagine Alex, disguised as Anna, attending high-level briefings or manipulating Valentine Casadin's lingering affections for her own gain. She might even be the shadowy recruiter who lured Britt into the fold, promising cutting-edge treatments for her Huntingtons in exchange for bioresearch on Port Charles Elite. This alliance could extend to falsifying Britt's death, staging it with theatrical flair to evade Casadini enemies. But let's push the envelope. What if Faison isn't pulling strings from beyond the grave? This could be pure nostalgia bait, with Alex invoking his name to instill fear, her Danish accent a deliberate mimicry to unsettle foes. Her motives run deep: revenge for Anna's shot, resentment over lost years, or a bid to claim the Devane Empire outright. Fans theorize Alex might target Dante Falconeri next, using Anna's guise to exploit his detective skills against the PCPD. The intrigue thickens when we consider Alex's possible accomplices, none more intriguing than her son, Peter August, whose death reeks of WSB cover-up. Peter, the ultimate wild card with his charm masking cruelty, could be the he counterpart to Alex's she, forming a mother-son syndicate that's equal parts genius and madness. After Anna witnessed his collapse, choosing vigilance over aid, the WSB whisked his body away faster than you can say conspiracy. Under Victor Casadin's corrupt reign, or even Jack Brennan's ethically gray tenure, reviving Peter via experimental serums or cryogenic tech isn't far-fetched. Picture Peter, scarred but sharper, operating from a hidden pikeman outpost, his resentment toward Anna fueling joint ops with Mom. This duo explains the pronoun shifts, Alex as the strategist, Peter as the enforcer. They might exploit old Faison networks, smuggling arms through Casadini channels while dangling threats of his return. If Peter's truly back, whether haunting Nathan's psyche like a vengeful spirit or physically reborn, it amplifies the stakes, potentially drawing in Liesel Obrecht for an explosive confrontation. Beyond the twins' dynamic, the WSB's murky underbelly adds fuel to this fire. Jack Brennan, once a rogue operative flirting with treason, now helms pikemen alongside Valentine, blending spycraft with mercenary muscle. Their paths cross Alex's history. Perhaps she fed them intel during her rogue days, or their unwitting pawns in her grander scheme. Invent a new layer. What if Alex has a hidden daughter, a long-lost Casa Dini heir, groomed as the next boss to inherit the empire? This invented twist ties into Port Charles' obsession with illegitimate offspring, escalating family feuds to operatic heights. Or consider Marco Rios as her inside man, a double agent planted years ago to monitor Jocelyn's circle, now feeding her updates on Lucas's vulnerabilities. The phone call to Jack, Alex testing waters, gauging his loyalty, while Anna rots in a remote safe house, perhaps in a forgotten European chateau, echoing her spy escapades. As this storyline hurtles forward, the blend of genders and boss references suggests a fractured leadership, Alex and Peter clashing over methods, or allying against a common foe like Sonny Corinthos. Fan forums are alight with polls, 65% bet on Alex's return, citing her untapped potential for femme-fatal drama. Her revival could spark a twin swap arc rivaling classic GH Mind games, with Anna fighting to reclaim her identity amid gaslighting and narrow escapes. Picture high-octane chases through snowy Scandinavian fjords, where Alex's accent slips during a slipshod disguise. Deeper analysis reveals themes of duality, good versus evil in the Devane bloodline, mirroring broader show motifs like redemption for villains. If Phazon lurks in flashbacks, it's Alex's psychological warfare, not literal haunting, preying on fears to control the board. In wrapping this speculative deep dive, General Hospital's mystery boss saga promises revelations that could shatter Port Charles anew. With Anna's fate hanging by a thread and Alex Merrick's shadow lengthening, expect betrayals, resurrections, and heart-stopping confrontations ahead. Stay tuned. Spoilers fans, this is just the tip of the iceberg in a plot as twisty as they come.